Hello and welcome to Election Brief. It's 48 days to the December polls. I'm Arba Kumsin. In our headlines today, 12 candidates will be on the presidential ballot paper on December 7. Some disqualified aspirants are threatening to seek redress from the court as the Electoral Commission disqualifies 5 for 12 to contest.
I'm taking the easy to court.
You are taking the easy to court.
Straight away, today you will hear from me. I'm taking the Electoral Commission to court.
The EC says there's no room for appeal. We'll speak to Akwesi Adai-Odike of the UPP, who's been disqualified. Also, widow of murdered MFANSTEMAN Member of Parliament, Ophelia Hayford, files nomination to replace her husband. We'll get the latest.
In Kabom, MFANSTEMAN who ban Nebi Biara Eko Kwasa Hayford Oyeno, Yabatiado, Nankunim Zenoso Bayenze.
Also, stop evil deeds. Keep your hands off journalists. That's the call by GJA president to politicians and others ahead of the December polls.
Keep your hands off journalists and concentrate on how best you can win votes, which will ensure your victory in the elections.
And later, we'll tell you about a group of first-time voters in the Ashanti region who have joined the MPP campaign trail.
I've completed, and so I decided to join the fresh graduates of Nanadu to campaign for him.
It's not easy for a person to cater for your education, to pay for your school fees and all those stuff.
We're live on your DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 144, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Follow Joy News on TV. We stream on myjoyonline.com as well. On YouTube, we are Joy News TV. Do stay tuned. Thanks for your time. We start off with the presidential aspirants who've been disqualified, and some of them have challenged the Electoral Commission's decision to kick them out of the upcoming contest. Independent aspirants Kofi Koranting and Marik Kofi Gan, as well as Akwesi Adai-Odike of the United Progressive Party, Kwesi Busumburu of the People's Action Party, and the United France Party as Ejenim Boateng. They were all kicked out of the race for varied reasons, including forgery. The UFP's Nana Ejenim Boateng says he's going to court to challenge the EC's decision.
It wasn't a surprise to me because I knew such a thing can happen, because I picked the intel that I am a threat to the president. So the president is trying any means for me not to file, for me not to contest.
No, those are serious allegations.
I'm telling you, it's because of
you don't even have the numbers.
No.
Your party is
that is your opinion. Let me be on the ballot and you will see who I will be, who I am. The real me will be on the ballot. When I contest, I will win a Kufuor hands down. I am telling you this because, you know, it's because of me that he let the EC raise the 50,000 to 100,000, that is 1 billion, and I was able to pay it. This morning I'm here and they are telling me about the people. They are my constituency executives. I have contacted them. They are denying what the EC is saying. So I'm taking the EC to court.
You are taking the EC to court? Straight
away, today you will hear from me. I'm taking the Electoral Commission to court. First of all, the Electoral Commission itself, the document, the register that they are using is what? It's not authentic. It's not certified. It's a provisional register, isn't it? I encountered one problem at the Upper Dintra West when one of my executives' voter ID number is having the Upper Dintra East document. We went to the EC office and they told me that it's because of that the register is a provisional one. So they did that correction.
No, but the EC clearly says that you were engaged in fraud. The 3 individuals who endorsed your forms deny that they have endorsed your candidate.
I just spoke with them.
So that is fraud.
No. It's the EC that doesn't know what they are doing, you know. They just have something to do in mind. They are being manipulated by the office of the NPP to the presidency.
So the 3 individuals indeed endorsed your candidate?
Yes, they did. I just spoke with them. I dared the EC to bring them to the public. I am daring the EC to bring them to the public. I just spoke with them. They said, no, they haven't done anything like that. So they have denied.
And these individuals are your members?
Yes, they are my members. That's why I'm going to court.
So you're going to court to seek redress or what?
Oh yeah, I'm going to court, and you know, I respect the supremacy of rule of law. I don't want to misbehave anything at all of that such. I'm going to the court. I respect the supremacy of rule of law, and I'm going to win this case, and I'll be on the ballot and win the presidency.
On his part, independent candidate Marie Kofi Gan questioned why the Electoral Commission failed to call him back to address concerns they had with his nomination forms, as it had done with others. He spoke to my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Qualified by the Electoral Commission in this presidential race. So the allegation is that you engage in fraud. Some supporters who endorse you had the same pattern with regards to their signatures, and that is fraud. What do you make of the EC's decision to kick you out of this year's elections, sir?
First of all, we are here at the EC to understand what they mean by same pattern. Because, you know, that's a very general statement. So we've been here since 8 o'clock to try and gain some understanding of what the EC means by this sort of things. None has yet been provided. We've been asked to come back at 2 p.m. So that is the journey we are on now.
So
but
you didn't
having
meet any of the officials, any of the EC officials?
I met some of the EC officials. That's what I'm saying to you, that we've been asked to come back at 2 p.m. For something a bit more substantive. They haven't been able to provide anything substantive. But what I want to say, however, is that we are quite surprised.
We're still here on election headquarters. This is your election brief. Now, the Dean of Academic Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Dr. Vladimir Nchudanso, has warned politicians against comments which can incite their supporters to pick up arms if results of the elections don't go their way. Former President John Mahama has on a number of occasions cast doubt on the neutrality of the current EC chairperson, Jean Mensa, and in his latest comment, he said he did not have confidence in the EC boss.
Elections are about consensus, that we build a consensus and we move together. And that's why the IPAC is such a very important body. Today, the IPAC is like an enemy to the EC. The EC doesn't want the IPAC. They've gone to resurrect plenty dead parties and brought them to IPAC so that they can create a majority there and bulldoze their way through. Fine, bulldoze your way through. Don't build consensus. On the day if the thing backfires, it's going to backfire on you. And this is the first time I'm seeing huge numbers of names missing after we've done the registration. You can have somebody's name is missing here and there. Well, how can you have a situation where the first day you go, 21,000 names are missing? Then an MP's name is not there. Then the very next day you secretly bring a new one and say, oh, his name was there, he didn't see it. I know they are new, so you might not be as competent, but you always have a back office and technical people who backstop you. And so you must rely on those people to show you what to do. But they have a mind of their own, those three commissioners. They're doing things the way they want, you know. And I hear that a lot of people who are very capable and technically competent, because they served under Charlotte Osei's administration, they've transferred them out to the district. And they don't have as much competence in the headquarters as they should have, especially with experienced hands. There are some new advisors on IT and all that kind of thing. And that's why, for the first time, I begin to doubt the competence of our commission. This has been a model commission to the whole of Africa. And I've always felt confident that we have a commission that on the day will rise up to the occasion. This time, I am afraid I don't have that level of confidence.
But in an interaction with journalists in Accra, Dr. Vladimir Nchudanso, who is also an international relations expert, says such comments could plunge the country into chaos.
Let such statements not denigrate the institution or the head of the institution. And as I've said, I strongly believe in me that President Mahama, ex-President Mahama, is making one of those things, propaganda and what do you call it, campaign. After all, our democracy is one of making sure that you get one person more, and everywhere. But to be honest, maybe my last comment is this, that let us watch out. From where I sit and the little research we've been doing, democracy is hiccuping very badly throughout the world. And we must guard our democracy very jealously. I hope you can headline this. It's hiccuping, even in America. Trump appoints a postmaster general whom it was seen clearly he wanted to use that position to make problems for the opposition. They raised it. They didn't go and beat the postmaster general. They raised it. They said the institution of the postmaster general is very important in our elections. We use it in posting things. So if the postmaster general, the new rules you are bringing is unconstitutional. They raised it and the man reversed the whole thing. That's the example I'm giving. But you could see that democracy everywhere is hiccuping very badly. In Ghana, for heaven's sake, let us protect our democracy by having confidence in our institutions. Do you know what? I don't have confidence in political parties. I always want to have confidence in our institutions. They are the ones which will make democracy work, not the political parties.
Let's go back to the issue of disqualified presidential aspirants. And the EC declared that independent aspirant Marik Kofi Gani presented fake signatures on his forms. Kwesi Busumuru of the Popular Action Party had fake signatures and also no supporters for some districts in the Greater Accra region. Nana Ejemnim Boateng of the UFP, for him, 3 people denied endorsing his candidature, and Akwesi Adai Odike of the UPP also said to have faked signatures of people to complete his form. Kofi Koranting has also been disqualified. We have Akwesi Adai Odike on the phone with us. Good afternoon to you and many thanks for your time, sir.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Okay, so how do you respond to these claims by the EC that you forged the signatures on your form?
Yeah, in actual fact, I've not received an official report from EC, and political parties, our dealings with EC is by writing. So I'm yet to receive their final report, and somebody is there. They're giving him 2 o'clock to come for the final report. And they are just maslinging my hard-won reputation that I have forged signatures, of which is not true, number one. Number two, they are saying that the filling of the forms, the handwritings, are similar. Yes, that one I can agree, but it is not a crime. What we did was that we brought all the nominees, those who are nominating for my candidature, at a point in the regional capitals, and we asked them to sign or thumbprint, and we fill in the details of their voter's ID card. The reason was to get a good writings. The filling of the forms must be clean and clear. That was the idea. And even the Electoral Commission, when they were compiling the register, their staff filling the forms for many people. It is not a crime in this country to fill a form for somebody. So I don't know why, and it's also not part of the grounds for disqualification.
I see. So Mr. Odike, be it as it may, the Electoral Commission says the door is closed. There is no opportunity for appeal in this particular matter. What do you intend to do then? Madam,
Justices are not closed. She can sit in her comfort zone and tell Ghanaians whatever she thinks is right. But we are going slowly. I'm not bothered if I'm not part of this election. I am not at all. But that's interesting because just yesterday, I believe you said on our sister station, Joy 99.7 FM, that you will seek legal redress in order to ensure that your name is on the ballot come December 7. What has changed? Yes, if I had said so, today I've come to reason that it is not the end of me, but it has been the grounds for Electoral Commission, the successive ones, to disqualify candidates unlawfully. So whether I am part of this election or not, I will seek redress. And if the court says I am wrong, I will understand. So it's going to be a protracted litigation, not something that I should be in a hurry to do it. My lawyers has asked me to go and take first their verdict. Then we will compare it to the issues on the ground. They said CID gave them the green light that my signatures are forged. That's fine. We will also call for CID's interrogations with those who are claiming that they didn't sign for me. Because at the moment, nobody has written a statement indicating that I forged his or her signature.
Okay. So you have not been officially notified by the EC, even though yesterday it was publicly declared that, on your forms, the signatures were forged. But yesterday you were very agitated. You said you were going to seek legal redress in order to ensure that your name is on the ballot. Today you've had an about 10. Could it be that it's because you're given...
It's not about 10. We are seeking redress to remove this blockade, this unnecessary disqualification of eligible candidates. It's not about me only, but I want to set the record straight for EC to know where her fingers end and where our noses begins. So the laws are clear, and this is where my interest is, because I can contest the next election. And if this thing is still hanging, it will not inure to the benefit of aspirants. So we want to get this clear once and for all. And it's not about hurrying up into this election. No.
All right.
It is about how we can get a clear way of allowing people to exercise their right to be voted for, and not to be determined by somebody who is the chair of EC. We want to clear the way for everybody.
Ms. Odike, very quickly before I go to my next question, because you did mention a phrase. You said it is not where the EC boss's hands end, but where your noses begin. Can you explain that for us, those of us who don't understand what this specifically means?
What it means is that the EC has the right to work as an independent body, and we, the aspirants, have the right also to become candidates. So it is the law that determines who is to become a candidate and who is to be disqualified.
All right.
But as I'm speaking to you now, what the grounds for disqualification, the writings of the forms is not part. They gave us to us before we submitted the forms. They gave the rules and the grounds for disqualification. And in my case, none of them is part of it.
In the case of Kofi Gan, Marie Kofi Gan, he was told by the EC officials to return to the commission's premises at 2 p.m. when he went to challenge the claim that he had forged some signatures. What about you? Have you been formally, has the EC reached out to you formally on this issue?
Madam, let me use your time a bit to educate Ghanaians. When the forms are 3-4, it contains the same information, and each person who is nominating you must sign all the 4. So, signing 4 signatures at a time, there can be inconsistencies. That is one. Another issue here is the EC has created 2 separate departments as far as the filing of nominations are concerned. One department is for the manual verification that is the technical side, and the IT side, which deals with figures and stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, when we submitted the forms, the EC went through the forms one by one, flipped through it, and then okayed it. That is the first point to call. When they have issues, they will raise it for you to go back and do correct the anomaly. In my case, when we presented the forms, they took their time to go through all the 4 books, and they were okay, and they transferred it to the IT people, where we were able to stay through again. These 2 processes, none of them did they raise any issues about or any concerns. So I'm surprised to hear from the madam that the thing that she has, monitored and has okayed it, she has to come back and tell Ghanaians that she has problems with it. I'm surprised because that was the first step of the process.
Mr. Odike, so you intend to seek redress at the courts, but looking at the time, isn't time running out for you? And do you think that your grievances will be reasonably addressed within this short space of time?
Madam, even after the elections, I still stand a chance of going to court because we spent about 5 million Ghana for our posters, for the party activities, regional constituency, police stations, elections. And the EC, when they come to supervise our elections, we also give them something for their fuel and stuff like that. We spend so much money, and if they disqualify me on this grounds, which I believe is not legitimate, I will seek redress and maybe go for damages. And so it is not about being part of this current elections. It is about clearing the way for people to know the grounds very well.
All right, but I mean, let's look on the brighter side. The EC says those who have been disqualified will get their monies returned to them, the 100,000 cedis. That's good news, isn't it?
The 100,000 is peanuts compared to the money we spend to organize political activities. This is nothing, the 100,000. The main cost is how to organize the party activities. Printing of posters, T-shirts, busing people, feeding them, going rounds to ensure that even this filing of nominations, every district, our reps has to converge at the district regional capital for the exercise. We have to pay for their TNT, and the people are almost 600 people, giving them TNT and their feeding and what have you. It's not an easy thing, madam.
Very well. For
somebody to sit somewhere and just say that I've disqualified you. I mean, if we want democracy to, triumph, these things doesn't come in. And some of my colleagues, who were able to sail through, are asking me, why were you not given the opportunity to, make amends, whatever errors you made? I said, no, they didn't complain about anything. Right. They okayed the 2 processes, and we were wondering why it took almost 2 weeks for her to come out. Even this is not normal, because 2012, I filed. Mr. Farijan, the same day I was giving my verdict, and he okayed me to run the elections. Now, this woman, it took her 2 weeks. And to my surprise, all the political parties that are in bed with this government, who are speaking for this government, the EC okayed all of them. And those who are speaking against the government, we were disqualified. But the EC, forgetting that they are using the register, which is not the true certified one. It is provisional register that they are using, and even the law doesn't allow them to do so, and yet they are doing it. So, madam, it's a whole lot, and I don't think the treatment method to me is fair.
All right. Okay. So I'm sure the conversation will continue, but that's Akwesi Adai Odike of the UPP, who has been disqualified by the Electoral Commission for allegedly faking signatures of people to complete his form. And as you heard him there, he says he will contest that. He is seeking legal redress as well. Now, stop evil deeds. Keep your hands off journalists. That's the call by the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Roland Money, to politicians and others who have plans to attack the press as the heat of the December polls builds up. Journalists have been targets of several attacks in the past, with some of them losing their lives in the process. With the recent increase in deaths of politically exposed persons, some have expressed concerns about the safety of journalists too. But Afil Money is cautioning politicians and others with intentions of attacking journalists to discard the thought.
Media house should be considered as a security zone. The law and order community to sharpen their focus on their media houses, which are potential targets of attacks by misguided politicians and sometimes overzealous supporters. So we should not be the target. So our clarion caution to all is that spare us your evil intentions. Please keep your hands off journalists and concentrate on how best you can win vote, which will ensure your victory in the elections. An attack against one journalist is an attack against all journalists, and an attack against all journalists is an attack against our democracy, and an attack against our democracy is an attack against the very soul of this nation.
You're still watching Election Brief with me, Arabakum. So we're taking a short break, but still to come, widow of murdered MFANSTEMAN Member of Parliament Ophelia Hayford files nomination to replace her husband. We'll get the very latest.
MFANSTEMAN who ban Nabi Biara Echo Kwanza Hayford Oyeno Yabatuado Nankunim Zenoso Bayenze.
You're welcome back to Election Brief. Now, Ophelia Hayford, wife of the late MP for MFANSTEMAN Eko Kwanza Hayford, says she's confident of victory for the MPP in both the parliamentary and presidential elections of December 7. As you know, the party has selected her to replace her husband, who was killed in a highway armed robbery incident. Madame Hayford was speaking to her supporters after filing her nomination earlier today to replace her husband as the MPP parliamentary candidate for MFANSTEMAN.
Kukrudu. Mozikan Medayan or Mampenyin Nana Adodankwa Ase National, Regional, and our constituency in Penyinfo. Our Reshemwa, when yaw mumu, the member Jinamukun Eko Kwanza Hayford na name. Who keka Mompai born in Mamu Yenti, Wama men who dare. According to my pa, oh yeah, no, Yabetuado. And my man, we one mammy swan, my papa. Men who dare, Moaku could do for time, met you. And Mamma can you there, one my for crew, yeah, in Kabom, MFANSTEMAN who ban Nabi Biara Eko Kwanza Hayford Oyeno Yabatuado Nankunim Zenoso Bayenze. The battle is still the Lord's.
Well, earlier, family of the slain MP for MFANSTEMAN, as well as supporters of the governing MPP, accompanied her through the streets of the constituency. Richard Kojunyako spoke to some of them.
So it's a big day for the constituents here at MFANSTEMAN. I don't know whether to say that they are sad or they are delighted, but so the widow of the slain MP for MFANSTEMAN, Ophelia Hayford, is on her way to find her nomination. In fact, we've walked for over 3 kilometers now. They are singing songs, and occasionally tears stream down. It's really a momentous occasion in the life of this woman who is coming to replace the husband. On the street of Sopon and MFANSTEMAN in general, you could see the billboards and the posters of her husband. I don't know what is going on in her mind right now, but it might be a difficult situation she finds herself. So here they are singing songs. So outside here, scores gather at the frontage of the EC office, all of them waiting for Madam Ophelia Hayford to file her nomination. In fact, they are still chanting songs, they are singing songs that will energize them, songs that will embolden them, songs that will charge the new patriotic party to go on to win this seat. According to them, they need to win this seat at all costs in memory of the late MP for this area. In fact, they are all in mourning cloth, black and red. And then others are also wearing MPP paraphernalia on top. So it's really a difficult moment here. We do not know whether to laugh or to cry, but that is what it is now.
Yes, this MFANSTEMAN seat, I can say that it's a very hot seat. And also, it was our first time to have a candidate who is a female. And at the same time, what had happened, it has touched a lot of people. So with this, I hope people of MFANSTEMAN will consider it and then vote for her massively to continue his her husband's good works.
So I've seen. Politicking here is a very difficult job. I mean, looking at the situation she finds herself, the husband is yet to be buried and all of that. You think that strength is there for her to push ahead to retain this?
Really, that strength is still there. I mean, beg the wife to retain the seat for us. No two ways about that. We will get even more done. Even if Ekwa was around, this lady will get more votes than the demise husband. I'm telling you, because we are expecting sympathy vote and others. See, the way the situation is very bad. As I'm talking to you, I'm crying within me. But I know God Almighty will protect us and then give us a massive vote for each and every one to know that what they did was wrong.
She was a stalwart in the scheme of affairs back home, and when it comes to consideration stages, she had a very pivotal role to play to the actualization of some of the visions and aspirations of the late Honorable Member of Parliament. So when you couple his commitment to her late husband's objectives, targets and goals with her professional background, rising through the ranks to Assistant Commissioner of Police, we are now going to see the real Ophelia, because in the service you can't do almost everything that you want. But now that the net has been broadened, we're just praying for strength and divine direction from God. But in her human capacity, I have lived under the same roof with her as a PA to the Honorable Member of Parliament for a minimum of 2.5 years.
What started as a WhatsApp group with few members has now turned into a network of first-time voters campaigning for the governing New Patriotic Party in Kumasi. The group, known as Fresh Graduates of Nanado or Nanado Ma, are mainly beneficiaries of the government's flagship policy, Free SHS. The over 200-member social media group of first-time voters operate mainly in the Asawase constituency. At the recent launch of the MPP campaign in that constituency, the young voters displayed social skills aimed at wooing their peers to vote for the MPP. Nana Aljima caught up with teenagers and has been finding out more from some of them.
Sporting NPP Free SHS t-shirts, these young voters exerted energy through dance moves at the launch of the party's campaign at Asawase. Most of them are new to politics with little knowledge on campaign ideologies and manifestos, but have resorted to active political campaign, having benefited from the Free SHS policy.
All right, I'm Frimpong Francis from Aguna Sinai Technical School.
and this year happens to be my first time of voting for His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Not a free SHS at all. There was also another scholarship which is called ZEP scholarship for almost every student who applied for that scholarship. And I'm a benefactor of that.
I'm Augustine and I completed Kumasi Academy. Yeah, I took the opportunity to join the campaign for Nana Akufo-Addo because his policy, that's the free SHS, helped me a lot in my senior high school education. It helped my parents the more because the money that they will use in paying my school fees, they used it in providing other things that I needed in the school, like the provisions and the other stuff that I would need to complement my education.
This free SHS has helped me a lot for such a person like me to also go to the SHS, and right now I've completed, and so I decided to join the fresh graduates of Nana Addo to campaign for him.
It's not easy for a person to cater for your education, to pay for your school fees and all those stuffs. Even our registration fee, he paid it for us freely. So I decided to join it myself.
The group of first-time voters started as a WhatsApp group and is gaining popularity among the youth in the constituency. The WhatsApp group now boasts of over 200 free SHS beneficiaries from different schools. They've divided themselves into smaller groups, explaining NPP's educational policies to their peers.
And so when the MPP is saying that when we give them another 4 years, they will help us in the tertiary by securing loans so that we use it in paying our tuition fees, we believe in it because we know them, we've tried them, and they've proven themselves worthy of our votes. But as for the NDC, we don't know if they will be able to do it because they don't believe in such things, because in 2016 they said even the free SHS cannot happen.
The NPP has mounted a campaign to snatch the Asawasi seat, which is considered the stronghold of the National Democratic Congress. Asawasi NPP parliamentary candidate Ali Duseidu sees the group as working towards victory.
Because you have an MP whom you've given your mandate for 16 years. He has the guts to tell you that as for him, he has nothing to offer you. He has nothing, no support anywhere. That for jobs, forget it. Now, everybody wants a son or daughter to be more than her or him. If an MP will tell you in the face that as for me, it is for me, myself, and I, that's it, then it is a wake-up call on all of them. That is why most of the youth have now pitched camp with the MPP.
Despite the NPP parliamentary primary challenges where his main contender, Manaf Ibrahim, sought legal action, Ali Duseidu wants the party to unite for a common purpose.
Manaf is my younger brother, and he knows how the multi-party kind of politics works. He wouldn't do anything to destroy what has been built. So as myself. So I will beg of everybody out there, whether you are my brother, you are seen to be a part of my movements from those times. Whoever you see in MPP in Asawasi is your brother, nothing more, nothing else. We are working devoid of camping.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
Let's head on to the campaign trail, and former President John Mahama has assured the people of the Western region that all abandoned projects would be completed when he's re-elected to power. Speaking at a Durbar for him by the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Mr. Mahama also assured unemployment, especially among the youth, would be addressed.
obiara efa ochire emabunu nya eduma nye no ya sefe de say emabunu omo wie school and no ma betre fi ade say awofo no eto eduane mo mo asa na betire didi enti ebota esi no say sanyame adom ne ba ye major focus every youth employment they say unemployment is not air cost. Now, yes, I see the devil finds work for idle hands. And also now, with this armed robbery, this and also air cost.
Now let's stay on the NDC because the party is recommending the establishment of a debate commission to compel presidential aspirants to avail themselves to debate ideas. Party chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo believes such a debate or such debates are relevant in helping the electorate make informed decisions. And his suggestion follows the refusal of the flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to respond to calls by the opposition for an open debate of ideas and policies. Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo is on a campaign trail in the Ahafo-Anon South constituency as part of the Nana Opoku-Agyeman's tour of the Ashanti region. And this is what he's been saying.
I could be a friend of the debate commission. Mestre say, in our political, let's say, your political culture, yes, we are establishing a debate commission. So, you free debate. Now, binding, sir. The president, you must be prepared to stand before the people of this country and tell the people what you want to do for them. And now, President John Dramani Mahama, or now Adom FM, a interview, by 1.5 hours. Oh, yeah, no, a month for you say, after young who said, President Mahama, or your Obia, or one dear, or your experience. Now, he understands the governance architecture and he has what it takes to rule this country. Nana Akufo-Addo, whether there is a debate commission in Ghana or not, something that I recommend strongly that Ghana must establish a debate commission so that whoever wants to govern this country will not run away from facing the country and debating the issues of bread and butter, issues that will determine the socio-economic development of our country.
Meanwhile, the party wants the electorate to put common interest above personal interest to ensure development. Presidential running mate Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman asked the electorate to desist from voting candidates who offer them money as inducement.
Obia kaho yem papa mu yenyim nyafe ne be cheche nkofo ase na fa yekosi he eno fa asomdwe ma wo ya na obi ani tan wo ya na nipa bi adwen so mo nka ho a ono so wo de obeye ana meboa wo kame no wo pa na asem wo ne na ekọ ene otesen kro obesesa ana esa na ye ntie no sa na ekọ no enti esi obi aka ho enti aba no obi a hwe ne card no ye ye di sika bi bebe banom ne ade bisa ho se sika sai ena ekwan na wo fa so enye no wo betim di akọ eniye sika hi ne edugu botomu a wo dwa na bekọ so afebo sika hi ne edugu nko a wo botomu a wo de bekọ kosi hospital wo so obedi na mienu bi na asa ne ase abatina ededem enti na ye nko ne sa bio ye to no de awahye no ma wo so ka hu sa me so me de ni obi a ne de hia no ana meboa enti sa ne ko obi an kro ne card ni ye ma fa o card mo obi a so wokoto ama wa na to aba enu nti na wonko awofoni na ewo anim na bibia anya asomdwe.
Now, members of a youth group are calling itself WA Z-Town members, formerly affiliated to the governing New Patriotic Party, have defected to the opposition National Democratic Congress. Announcing their defection at a press conference in WA, Communication Officer of Z-Town, Abubakar Mohammed Hashim, said they are fed up with the deceit and lies of the MPP. As they pointed out, the party has nothing good to offer them, the Zongo community and Ghana at large. According to them, despite loud promises of the MPP in the run-up to the 2016 elections, leading to the introduction of the Zongo Development Fund, there is nothing to show as evidence in the WA Zongo. JoyNews' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
We, the members of Z-Town, are no longer members of the ungrateful, deceitful, incompetent, non-performing New Patriotic Party. And we are officially declaring our unwavering support, commitment, loyalty to the great umbrella family, the National Democratic Congress.
Communication Officer of members of Wazi Town, Abubakar Mohammed Hashim, announcing their defection from the ruling New Patriotic Party (NPP) to join the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC). The group claimed they have a registered membership of 850 and were used by the NPP in the 2016 election as hoodlums and for other clandestine activities to enable them win political power. Upon winning power, they forgot that the war chest must be replaced. They were dumped and left unattended too.
We, the members of Z-Town, have since time immemorial supported the New Patriotic Party (NPP). We toiled and tussled for the party in the run-up to the 2016 general elections, during which we were used as hoodlums with several promises and assurances of transforming our lives. These numerous promises, however, turned out to be mere political talks. Ladies and gentlemen, we, the members of Z-Town, were promised well-paying and sustainable jobs that will provide meaningful livelihood to us. This, however, is not the case. After almost 4 years in power, our state of unemployment is nothing but sorry and laughable. But for the benevolence, generosity, and exemplary leadership of the affable, visionary, and competent Upper West Regional Chairman of the NDC, Mr. Abdul Nasser, popularly known as Chairman Bunas, a sense of hope and self-worth was restored in the youth, especially the youth of Zongo.
They stated that even though the Wazongo community could boast of all the big source of the party in the West Central constituency, including the city mayor, Isaku Tair Momen, and chairman Konsampo Ali Kamara, the community has nothing to show for it.
The only thing this non-performing team can boast of is the shameful embarrassment they brought upon us when the contract was awarded for the construction of a fully furnished multipurpose ICT center to serve 3 schools, namely Horea, Nuria, and Tindamba in our Zongo community. They ended up painting an already existing single classroom at Horea and placed just 5 laptops in it to serve over 20,000 pupils. This act of gross disrespect is a clear indication that the NPP government has no regard whatsoever to the good people of the Upper West region, especially with the youth.
The Wazita members said they have gotten enough of the deceit and lies of the NPP and have seen that the party has nothing good to offer them, the Zongo community, and Ghana at large.
The youth must survive. The youth must work. The youth must eat, and therefore we need sustainable and decent jobs, which JM and the NDC promises to deliver. Let us all unite and say no to incompetence and vote massively for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, as well as Dr. Hassan Rashid Pelpo for jobs, prosperity, and more.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Let's stay in the north because today on Voters' Voice, we took our microphone to Kalfoni in Tamale in the northern region. For some, employment and development by the governing party will influence their decision on December 7, whilst others say they believe in the NDC's big push.
Looking at my views, I would say MPP deserves another 4th term because when John Mahama was in power, John Mahama and his entire team, they went for IMF loan and they placed a ban on our public sector employment for 3 and more years. But NDC and his team never had plans for the youth. So they made the public sector unemployment.
No, I'll agree. This is a lie. This is a lie. I'll agree. This is a lie.
What says it's a lie?
This is a lie.
It's true.
Yes, it's a lie.
It's not a lie.
This propaganda.
It's not propaganda.
This propaganda that you are putting there. You people cause it.
I also finished around that time. I wasn't employed.
You people cause it.
Then now,
for us to get the money to employ the
one. When MPP won,
the youth,
they don't
to the way.
No, they had the youth at heart.
I won't agree.
So they went in for what?
Propaganda.
They went and brought
agree
and employed the youth. You understand? So yeah, they employed the youth by bringing NAPO.
Napo.
Yes.
Look at this road. Which road? Which road? You say you are going to provide them cars, which is a what? A lie. No, we didn't stop the Okada. We said we are going to what? Regularize the Okada.
No. When you were in power,
Regularize the Okada. And you said the mama promised Okada riders that when he comes, he will develop in 2008. And when he will, I forgot to. He went back to the manifesto. Go back to the manifesto. I have the manifesto. I can't remember the person.
This guy just just concentrate on our people.
He will legalize.
Just concentrate on our people. Just be aware. Chairman himself pick all the motorbikes away.
I don't have any evidence.
Yes, pictures.
Those are photoshops. They're all photoshops.
It's not Photoshop.
Don't have any evidence. Don't have any facts.
You see, your chairman didn't say anything.
We were all there when MPP said that when they win, they'll bring free snacks.
And the agreements and disagreements will continue, but just let's remember, let's agree to disagree. That was voters' voice from Cal Point in the Tamale in the northern region. And that's how we wrap up Election Brief for today. I'm Barbara Kumson. Join us same time tomorrow. There's more.